there's something I have to say. Does it look like I'm ordering a fucking pizza? Exactly. I'm not ordering no fucking pizza. I'm trying to save a shitload of civilians from getting killed or injured from a burning building. And stop a group of assholes who is ran by Hans Gruber. And fix my marriage just in time before Christmas. There you go. That's a synopsis of what this movie is all about. Die Hard. Takes place on Christmas Eve. Oh, joy. What can be better than getting ready for the holidays? No, I mean, not having the tree up, not getting the presents, not writing the letters to Santa Claus, not fucking feeding Rudolph, not doing any of that. No, John McClane's job, because he's an NYPD officer, he has to go to the Nakatomi building, the Nakatomi Plaza, and he has to save a bunch of people. His relationship with his wife is falling apart a little bit, and he's got to fix that. But a group of terrorists who's led by Hans Gruber, played by Alan Rickman. By the way, before I even continue talking about the plot, I just want to say that Hans Gruber, Alan Rickman, one of the greatest debut performances I've ever seen in a movie. Alan Rickman was superb. Every time whenever I think of Alan Rickman in any sort of movie whatsoever, it's Die Hard for me. It's the first movie that comes to mind because of how evil, how cynical, how fucking no-hearted of a piece of shit heel he was in this film, and it was awesome. Continuing on, he's taken over the Nakatomi Plaza. He's holding up bunch of hostages and set on stealing a good whopping $640 million in bearers' bonds within the building. So it's up to McClane himself, who's played by Bruce Willis, who's played in a lot of good movies over the years, to stop these dudes from creating any more havoc, because since the LAPD is practically useless and doesn't even help whatsoever, which was honestly one of my biggest problems I have with the film, is the fact that the LAPD in this film, sure, the LAPD didn't necessarily, the way that they act in this film is not necessarily how the LAPD would act. I mean, fuck. McClane, he was able to sneak into the building, and slowly but surely, I mean, the film itself is like 2 hours and 12 minutes long and something seconds, like 50, I don't know, but 2 hours and at least 12 minutes long, so 2 hours, 12 minutes, and I'll say 50 seconds long. It's a long movie. 2 hours long. But within that time frame where the story itself is something where it just builds progressively over time. You see exactly what's going to happen with McClane going through many different obstacles, not only confronting Gruber and Walkie-Talkie and his men, but just the fighting, the action itself, McClane trying to talk to Gruber, the scenes that Gruber would be in, just talking with everybody, holding everybody hostages, trying to make deals. But the thing that made him so much more evil is the fact that he wasn't even yelling or anything. It was the fact that Gruber, he was calm. Like, he was calm, quiet, and he kept himself together, at least for a good portion of the entire film. He later loses his sanity, but he tried to keep cool for the most part. Very cynical fucking villain, and it's great. Now, as for McClane, again, you got yourself the babyface and the fucking heel in this film. The babyface trying to take down the heel. Good guy, bad guy scenario that's going on, and it's simple thing like that is great. Now, the story itself, it's a basic plot. Like, there's nothing complicated on understanding what's going on within this movie at all. Like, there's nothing hard at all to really see. It's just that it's a journey. Like, it is literally a journey through one man who's trying to stop from the fucking Nakatomi Plaza or this building from getting any more catastrophe happening to it than what's going on currently. I mean, fucking fires and bullets, broken glass, and fighting going on. Just a shitload of violence that transpires within the entire movie. Now, this film itself does have some comedic value later on. Again, McClane does have a sense of humor, which is later showcased within the film itself. Now, obviously, Bruce Willis looked like a badass. The way he looked, acted, talked, the way he delivered his lines. It's the definition of what an action baby face, an action good guy should look like. A role like this is something that stands out for an action film to not only watch around Christmas, but also just in general. Like, his performance in this film, especially with how the film itself was shot, the cinematography is great. Really good stuff. Like, it's nothing complicated whatsoever. Like, the camera work is all over the place in terms of different areas where it's shot and how the camera's following. Like, the camera work is really freaking good in this film. Cinematography is great. But the movie itself, like I said, the action itself is phenomenal. Bruce Willis and Alan Rickman delivered two splendid, if not memorable and fantastic performances. The story itself is very simple to follow. The dialogue is fucking great. A lot of different things that transpire in this film that really keeps you on your toes, seeing exactly how the final confrontation is going to happen between both McClane and Gruber towards the end of the movie, and how the confrontation, even in the middle of it, like how they were able to meet before even fists were flying. Like, the film itself is milked. Like, the entire confrontation is milked. And as it progresses more and more, Gruber gets more ruthless. McClane becomes a lot more of a badass and very impatient, not only with him, but also the fact that LAPD wasn't even helping towards the very end once all the bullshit happened. Sure, they were outside and everything, talking to a bunch of the other guys, holding their guns ready, see if anybody comes out and starts blasting. I get that part. But the LAPD in this film didn't necessarily stand out to me whatsoever. It was the two main guys and obviously all the shit that was going on, especially the music itself. Fitting action stuff. But yeah, this is one of those movies where on Christmas time, if you want to have some fun, instead of putting on something that's very Christmassy, you want to fucking watch a bunch of violence or a confrontation where shit gets blown up or fucking glass gets broken, where you got people fighting each other, shooting, and all that stuff. You got a good guy, bad guy situation going on. This is the movie to watch on Christmas time, because it does take place on Christmas Eve. So, that's a good thing. But yes, in the end, McClane himself, I'm sure by the end of the day, he woke up the next morning with his wife by the Christmas tree, opening up some gifts and having a nice cup of coffee. As for Gruber, well, I don't think he had himself a nice Merry Christmas. But then again, that's how it usually works with good guy, bad guy. So, folks, my rating for Die Hard, it's a damn good movie. Absolutely love it to bits and pieces. And it's a film that I personally gave a 4 out of 5 to. Great stuff, awesome fucking movie to watch around Christmas time. So with that being said, folks, that's going to have to do with my review of Die Hard for you all. I wish you all Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, Happy Festivus, and all that stuff. Air your grievances, get your presents, and just spend time with the loved ones. So with that being said, folks, once again, Merry Christmas. Ciao for now.